If God is all-powerful and all-loving, why does he allow suffering? This question has troubled people for centuries. Why do good people go through so much pain while evil people seem to thrive? Why do disasters happen? Why does life sometimes feel unfair? Today, we're diving deep into this question, and by the end of this video, you'll understand why bad things happen and how we can still trust in a good God. One of the most important things to understand is that God gave humanity free will. He didn't create us to be robots, forced to follow him. Instead, he gave us the ability to make our own choices, for good or for bad. Imagine a world where you were forced to love someone. That wouldn't be love at all. Love has to be a choice. In the same way, God allows us to choose him or reject him, to do good or to do evil. But free will comes with consequences. People make selfish decisions. They hurt each other. They create systems that oppress, wars that destroy, and conflicts that cause suffering. God didn't create suffering. Humanity did. If God took away all suffering instantly, he would have to take away free will too. And if we had no choice in our actions, would we truly be a human? Even beyond human choices, we live in a broken world. At the beginning of time, the world was perfect. No pain, no sickness, no suffering. But when humanity turned away from God, everything changed. The harmony of creation was disrupted. Death entered the world. Disease, natural disasters, and suffering became part of human existence. This is why we see things like earthquakes, cancer, and other tragedies that don't seem connected to human choices. The world itself is in a fallen state, and because of that, bad things happen. But here's the good news. This isn't the end of the story. Nobody likes to suffer, but if we look back at our lives, we often realize that our hardest moments shaped us the most. Think about a diamond. It's created under extreme heat and pressure. Without the struggle, it would never shine. Suffering teaches us lessons, builds our character, and makes us stronger. Many people who have gone through unimaginable pain come out with wisdom, resilience, and a deeper understanding of life. They grow in ways they never would have if life had been easy. That doesn't mean suffering is good, but it does mean that God can use suffering for good. How many people have found their true purpose after a tragedy? How many have turned their pain into a mission to help others? Some of the greatest movements in history were born from people who endured suffering and chose to fight for something greater. Pain can break us, or it can refine us. The choice is ours. One of the biggest misconceptions people have is that when they suffer, God has abandoned them. But the truth is, he is closer than ever in those moments. Think about this. When someone you love is in pain, you don't turn away from them. You stay with them, comfort them, and help them through it. God does the same. Even if we don't always feel his presence, he is still there. When we look back on the hardest times in our lives, we often see that we weren't truly alone. Maybe it was a friend who showed up at the right time. Maybe it was a sudden feeling of peace when everything seemed impossible. Maybe it was a sign, small or big, that gave us hope to keep going. God doesn't always take away our suffering immediately, but he does promise to walk through it with us. It's important to understand that not everything that happens is God's doing. If a person chooses to hurt someone else, that is their choice, not something God orchestrated. If a company pollutes the earth and causes sickness, that's a human decision, not a divine one. Many people blame God for suffering, but in reality, much of it comes from human actions, natural consequences, or even spiritual forces at work. However, even though God doesn't cause all suffering, He has the power to redeem it. He can take even the worst situations and bring something good out of them. We may not always see it right away, but countless people have looked back in their hardest moments and realized that somehow it led them to something better. Imagine looking at a painting, but only being able to see one tiny corner of it. You wouldn't understand the full picture. Life is the same way. We often judge events as bad because we don't see the bigger purpose. Think about a moment in your life that felt devastating at the time, but later you realized it led you to something good. Maybe a job loss led to a better opportunity. Maybe a heartbreak made way for true love. Now, take that idea and expand it to the entire universe. What if what seems unfair now is part of a bigger plan we simply don't understand yet? We may not get all the answers in this life, but that doesn't mean there aren't answers. It just means we're not seeing the full picture yet. Here's the best part. Suffering is not permanent. No matter how dark things get, no matter how much pain exists in this world, it won't last forever. There is a promise that one day all suffering, pain, and evil will be completely wiped away. There will be no more sickness, no more heartbreak, no more loss. We might not see it yet, but the day is coming when everything will be made right. Until then, we hold on to hope. If you're struggling right now, you are not alone. God sees you, He loves you, and even if you don't understand everything right now, He is still working in your life. What do you think? Have you ever struggled with this question? Drop a comment below and let's talk. Like, subscribe. Thank you for watching.